dirty. And we do have... Wow!
Oh no!
You gotta be kidding
Oh
me.
my goodness!
The wait is finally over. A lot of people had this race assigned on their calendars, and today it's time to tackle it. In the weekend, the NASCAR marks its return to Mexico. For the first time, we are going to see the PSRLA cars and teams fly around what is one of the best tracks in all of North America. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to qualifying for round 17 of the 2025 PSRLA Cup Series. Hello everybody, my name is Alex Vitale. Welcome to Act 1 of the Akron Lubricantes 200, our second international race after the one at Riviere, and our first ever race at Mexico. And as I stated, this is the race is going to fall in the weekend NASCAR marks its return to Mexico. Of course, it's the first ever Cup race at Mexico City, and but it's the first NASCAR event in Mexico in general since I believe 2012. Always at Mexico City, at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, a track that, well, yes, it is hosted NASCAR races as previously stated. It is more known as the host of the Mexican Grand Prix, as well as the Mexico City Grand Prix over at Formula One. And yeah, as I stated, a lot of people definitely are, I'm pretty sure a lot of people were looking forward to this. I sure was. So yeah, for the first time we're actually going to see the cars of the PSRLA drive around here. And now it will be interesting to see how they're going to tackle the more twistier parts of this track, and one of them you're looking at right now. So yeah, the race is definitely going to be interesting no matter which way you slice it. But of course, before we actually have to deal with the race itself, we need to deal with qualifying and pre-qualifying. And speaking of pre-qualifying, it was fun when it lasted, but Carson Miller has fallen back to pre-qualifying hell alongside the bottom five, the usual suspects in Sam Alsken, Hunter Mendoza, Carson Miller said that, Jack Haas, and the usual suspect at this point. You should be fully aware of who they are by now. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting pre-qualifying session. And before we actually begin with pre-qualifying, there's a bit of news in relation to the roster, to the driver roster. It's been a while since we had one. That being that this is going to be the last race for Bernardo de Oliveira, who has left the server, the PSRLA server, and both Virgil Alonso and Caleb Rose, who are the co-owners of the 90 ride for Appalachian Motorsports, have announced that Alexander Rowe will be driving the 55-59 car in place of Bernardo de Oliveira starting from the next race. But for now, that race will be stalked by Bobby de Oliveira, with of course a replacement for the 90 car yet to be announced. But anyway, this has been it for this intro, so let's not waste any more time and let's get on with pre-qualifying, shall we? And Bradley Ream will be the first one out on the track. Possibly one of the longest straights that these drivers will have to face this weekend here in Mexico. Of course, that straight being the first DRS zone, as Miller goes through what would be the second DRS zone in Formula One. Through the SS, Rim goes. Into the hairpin. Of course, this is already a pretty tricky section with a Formula 1 car, so let alone with a stock car. As I stated in the intro, this race is going to be a very, very interesting one, no matter which way you slice it. as Reem gets approaches the stadium section, possibly the slowest part of the track. Actually, no, that's definitely the slowest part of the track. Out goes Reem, and into the last corner of the Peraltada. I butchered that term. I'm sorry. I know Spanish, by the way. As Reem will start his first lap, the first ever recorded lap here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, renamed after the Rodriguez brothers, Pedro and Ricardo, I think it was the other name. Into the hairpin, Rim goes. And into the S's. I think his name is Peralta, but I could be wrong. Like I'm wrong on a lot of things. But anyway. Here's Reem approaching the stadium section. Very long laps here at Mexico City, so these guys don't have much time to do a good lap. In fact, you'd almost call this basically a shootout. As Reem goes through the final corner and into the main straight, and that's going to be 1:39.54 Bradley Reem. Let's see what time is Santa Mendoza going to do. And Mendoza does 1:49.9 for Mendoza. Right now he's in second, but now there's Jack Haas and Carson Miller. Guys, this should be a lot more faster than Mendoza on paper, especially Miller. Let's see what time these two guys are going to do. Oskan goes second fastest. Miller is fourth, although he has to. I'm pretty sure he has to do a banker lap still. There's Jack Haas. So right now, Reem, Oskan, and Mendoza are out of pre-qualifying. Let's see what time is Jack Haas going to do. And Haas does second best. Here's Tanner Parton. Parton goes to top of the leaderboards. Top of the leaderboards for Tanner Parton. The upgrades is as I said last week. This happens when you have a teammate a team owner that actually cares. But in the meantime, let's go watch Bradley Reem, who, by the way, Owen Miles has announced that he will be leaving the PSRLA at the end of the 2025 season. Let's see if Reem is going to better his time, and the answer seems to be yes. Back at the top of the leaderboards, Reem goes. Let's see Mendoza. Mendoza is still in fifth, yes. There's Carson Miller, the last driver that has to score a proper time. Behind that is Sabanoskin. Sabanoskin scores in fourth. Mendoza right now is on the bubble. Let's see what his teammate Miller is going to do. And Miller does. Top of the leaderboards, Oskan goes. Still in fifth. There's Jack Haas. That's going to send Mendoza out of pre-qualifying. Miller, top of the leaderboards. And of course, the only driver that managed to crack actually go under the 139s. 138.8 the 29 car. Let's see Jack Haas. Safely in qualifying. Not better time, but it doesn't matter. Let's see Tanner Parton. No better time for the 97 car. So right now, the only DNQ will be Hunter Mendoza as Reem goes for the stadium section once again. Never mind. That was pre-qualifying. And Carson Miller, Bradley Reem, Tanner Parton, Jack Haas, and Samaraskan will leave to race here at Mexico City. But the same cannot be said for Hunter Mendoza, who unfortunately will be our only DNQ for the race. And with that, see you in qualifying. And Leonard Koshmar and Blink Keys will be the first ones out on the track. Unless somebody else is going to overtake them, but I doubt it. There's Hank Gutierrez, the homeboy here at Mexico City. Koshmar and Keys get out of the pit road and into the pit lane, since this is a Formula 1 track. Of course, Vision Motorsports, a very big favorite here because of the performance they've had last time on a road course here. And of course, remember that Koshmar finished second in that Vision Motorsport 1-2 at Austin, Texas, way earlier in the year, and looked like he was actually going to win until Egan managed to overtake him in the last couple of laps. So definitely looking forward to see what Vision Motorsport can do here. There's Bruno Di Giacomo and William Ayers, Carson Miller, Bryce Egan, and the winner at Austin, as we stated. There's St. Davidson, Ryan Little, Anke Gutierrez. Anke Gutierrez, of course, has more than any other reason to perform better, to perform good, to have a good performance here at Mexico City. And of course, Bernardo Oliveira, who, as we stated, will be his last. This will be his last race for the PSRLA, and replaced by Alexander Rowe. But in the meantime, Lana Koshmar is going to start his first outer lap as more drivers are leaving the pits. There's Danny Johnson, there's Oskan, there's the car of Avery Alford. Of course, 144 for Koshmar, but this was just his banker lap. We will need to see what his actual good time is going to be. Of course, I could mention the fact of this track being so high that engines are going to output more power, but I doubt that they can really replicate it here in an R. But still, that's a thing that actually happens because of the less air, due to the fact that this track is so high from the sea level. Into the S's, Koshmar goes. As we stated, very long laps here at Mexico City, so these guys don't have many attempts to at their disposal to do some good attempts. To do some good attempts, actually, more. Into the stadium section, Koshmar goes to complete his first ever actual flying lap. There it goes. Into the front corner and into the main straight slash. No, the DRS zone, the actual DRS zone doesn't start until halfway through the straight. There goes Koshmar. 140 for the 99 car. Let's see what Blake Keys is going to do. Blake Keys 140. Alford as Oskan. There's Bruno Di Giacomo. Di Giacomo does 4th fastest, Ayers goes 3rd fastest. Let's see, Carson Miller, 5th fastest, but that's a very slow time. There's Luke Evans, there's Bradley Reem, there's Bryce Egan, now 6th best time. There's Jeffrey Finn guy, 8th time. There's Joshua Neely 4th. There's Davenport. As Torres takes fastest provisional pole. There's Duncan Ward. There's Reggie Fogelman. As more drivers are crossing the line. There's Dane Davidson 10th. Ryan Lewis in 9th. Gutierrez is in 3rd. As Carrison takes provisional pole away from Fogelman. Let's look at R.B. Gardner and Skylar Taylor. As Neely takes the second, take 10th place. Southstry and Stapleton. Stapleton takes the provisional pole away from Carrison. There's Gary Moore in 4th. Justin Perez in 8th. The winner, if I remember correctly, at Troy Riviere. In that, actually no, I think it was Finn Guy that won at Troy Riviere. Now think about it. Yeah, I think it was Finn Guy. And Finn Guy is outside of the top 10 right now. There's D'Amelio and Anderson. And Jack Haas and Eric Monaco, Anthony Nicol. There's Roberto Crown Jr. Actually, Crown Jr. himself, half Mexican, or full Mexican, I have no idea. Basically, also a home race for Crown. Here's Keys, there's Johnson, and Alford. Oskin, of course, these guys are going to go for a second lap. Giacomo still doesn't have any stamina, does airs. Beal doesn't. Miller does not. Miller is in 25th. Evans is in. Evans, where is Evans? Jeffrey Finca is down in 30th. Evans is. Where is Evans? I didn't see him. Oh, he's in 9th. Reem, Bryce Egan. Bryce Egan is in. Where is Bryce Egan? He is in 32nd. Finca, as we stated, he's down in. Now he's actually dropped. He's in the 41st. And Stapleton still leads. Teammate Ryan Little is in 21st. Actually, speaking of, where is Joshua Neely? Since we just mentioned him, he's actually still on track. Come to think of it, doesn't look like it. No, there he is. There's Neely, and Neely is in. Where is Neely? I lost him. Oh, he's 19th. The 19th place for the 57 OSC car. There's Lana Koshmar. As Justin Perez now has scored second fastest, but these guys have gotten nowhere near the time of Nathan Stapleton. There's Avery Alford. Alford, he is in 22nd, while Danny Johnson is in 26th. Oscar Di Giacomo. Di Giacomo finished second at Michigan, is in 20th. Now let's see, where is Davidson, if he's still on track. There he is, Davidson. Davidson is in 24th. The winner at Michigan is in 24th. Gutierrez is in 6th, so good result for the Mexican driver. Crown is in 8th, so good both result for the boys. And they're still on track, as far as I know. Nobody's on pit. Oh no, there is Carrison in the pits. Carrison with some damage to his left, to the left side of the car. As we look at Gardner, R.B. Gardner, back into qualifying after the weekend pre-qualifying, and right now he's in 35th. There's Nathan Stapleton with a time that still nobody has been able to match up, and I doubt anyone will take up a position from him. Not just anytime soon, but just in general. Okay, now right a little in pits. There's Oskin. Oskin is in 39th. In fact, ooh boy. So Oskin and Finga and Fitzwater will round up the. Actually, what happened to Fitzwater? That's a very, very slow time for Fitzwater. Almost 3 seconds up the pace of Oskin. So something must have happened to that 52 car. And where is he? There he is. Let's see if he can actually get a better time than that. Because, good God, that's not a good look. Let's see if it's what it's actually gonna get a better time. And the answer is yes. And he goes in 22nd. So now it will be Ginny Stamelio and someone else can rounding up the grid. Well, as we stated, nobody's been able to put a dent to even challenge Stapleton's grasp on pole position. There is 1 and 2 in the stand currently in the pits. So right now, as we look at the Movidal currently in 5th, Stapleton will start on pole position. The second will be Justin Perez. Then it will be Jonathan Carrison. Then it will be Reggie Fogelman, Guillermo Morel, Hank Gutierrez, Philip Torres, Roberto Crown Jr., Tom Sloan, and Leonard Koshma running at the top 10. And as we stated, Ginny Stamelio and Simon Oskin will be the ones running up the rear of the field. And now we are 50 seconds until the end. 50 seconds, now 45 seconds left on the clock. As we look at more drivers in an attempt to better their times, there is Luke Evans. Evans currently is in 11th at the edge of the top 10. And it does not better this time. There's Ream with some damage to the rear of his car, yes. Ream is in where is Ream? Ream is in 38th. Fink Guy is in 34th. Egan is in where is Egan? Egan is in 35th. Then it's Neely, who is in 20th. So none of these guys are in the top 20, except all outside of 20 except for Neely. This ain't gonna be set for Philip Torres, so we'll start 7th, unless something big happens. But I doubt it. 15 seconds left on the clock. We're looking at Michigan winner Zane Davidson. Davidson is in 25th. So he's got a mountain to climb for the race. Troy Williams Jr. he's in 16th. And that'll be it for qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. And as we pretty much stated, Nathan Stapleton will start on pole position for the first ever race here in Mexico City. Second will be Justin Perez. Third will be Jonathan Carrison. And will be Reggie Fogelman, Gary Movidale, Anki Gutierrez, Philip Torres, Roberto Crown Jr., Tom Sloan, and Leonard Kosh running up the top 10. With Ginny Stamelio and someone else can rounding up the 40 car field here for the Akron Lubricantes 200. So, Nathan Stapleton has the best seat on the house here in Mexico City, followed by Justin Perez, the man who scored 3 pole positions in a row, if I remember correctly, earlier in the year. And unfortunately, rounding up the rear of the field will be Ginny Stamelio in 39th and Simon Oskin in 40th. And that's basically it for the first ever qualifying session here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. And I know I've stated it plenty of times, but no matter what happens in the race, this is a big event because, of course, first race is always a big event, and it's always a big event. So, yeah, I am very excited to see what's going to happen on Saturday. But for now, we're done. And there's pretty much nothing else to say other than this has been a special presentation of the 2025 PSRLA Cup Series 45 Network. I'm Alex Vitale, and see you tomorrow for the race. So long, everybody, from Mexico City.